Group.
The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney. Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the weekend. Andy Brownell on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. Good morning, Robin. Welcome back.
Good morning, and thank you.
So, you took a trip to warm weather and brought warm weather back with you. So everybody say thank you to Robin next time you see her.
Exactly. You're welcome. You're welcome. It was awesome, to get there. And we actually drove to Savannah, which people are like, you drove? That is so crazy. But I looked into flights, and we could not find a direct flight from Minneapolis to Savannah. So if we were going to fly, we were going to have either like a 2.5, 3-hour layover in Nashville or a 4-hour layover in Atlanta. And then I thought, oh, geez, with spring break and all the flights, if we get stranded in Nashville or Atlanta when we have this house reserved in Savannah and other couples, going to meet us there, how's that going to work? So I was just worried that then we would get there and wouldn't be able to get a rental car to drive the rest of the way. So I just said, forget it. So we called up my friend Brad Keene over at Keene Rental, and 3 couples, so 6 people, drove down in a 12-passenger van. And to be very honest, it was the way to go. It was very stress-free, and, we drove the first day, spent the night. And we laughed because we started calling for hotels and couldn't find one. We finally found one in Bethlehem, Georgia. So there was room at the Inn, the Holiday Inn.
You were almost there at that point.
We had 4 hours to go.
Okay.
But, we couldn't check into the house till the next day anyway. So it was fine. We were going to stop in Nashville after 12 hours, but we were going strong and it was fine. So, it was 20 hours in the car. So lots of time I did a lot of work, but it was also time to just visit, and we were just watching as we were getting further and further south, like, oh my gosh, the trees have leaves. Oh my gosh, look at how green the grass is. There's buds, there's flowers. And it's like, oh, we're so close. And then to be able to get there and just, take walks around. We were in a really nice neighborhood in a, I think everything's probably historical neighborhoods there, but we didn't see any new houses anywhere. But the house that we were staying in was built in the 1800s, and it was just impeccable condition. And up and down the street, we were like a block away from a street called Jones Street. And there was just amazing houses. And when we were on the trolley ride, she said, make sure you walk up and down Jones Street if you get a chance, because it's where the most incredible homes in Savannah are located. And she said, you've all heard the saying, keeping up with the Joneses? Well, that's where it came from.
Oh, wow.
Those Joneses, who he had been the medical director for the medical association or something. But anyway, It was just a gorgeous street, and it was literally around the block from where we were. So we did walk all up and down it. But, those houses. And as a realtor, I just loved getting out my app and the ones that were for sale, finding out how much they were for sale for. And the most expensive one I found out on my walk was $11 million.
Oh, wow. Was that on Jones Street?
It was on Jones Street. And the cheapest one I found was near the Kroger grocery store. And it was... That street was called Gwinnett. But anyway, there was, it was a great big house that had been divided into 4 sections. And each section had 3,700 square feet.
Oh, that's a big house then. Wow.
It's a big house. And so the one section, the one part of the quad was listed for $1,350,000. So... And the house that we were staying in, I looked it up on Zillow. It had sold a few years back for $2.5 million. It was very nice. It was really nice. It was.
Do all these homes have the beautiful, huge front porch?
Oh, yes. And our porch had 4 rocking chairs and then a nice banister that you could sit on. And we did spend time. A couple of the nights it was kind of muggy, but I'm like, oh, this is so cool. It was just a good taste of summer. And then to come home and have literally no snow left in our yard was, so nice.
And
so
a forecast
nice.
calling for the 70s next week.
Yay.
And you get all the credit. There you go.
Thanks. You're welcome. I'm happy to bring that back. I didn't bring any souvenirs, but I brought warm weather, so there you have it.
So when you say you rode down there in a 12-passenger van, I picture in my mind the old church bus.
Well, it's really nice because it's so tall. It's some Ford something. You can literally stand up and you don't hit your head on the ceiling. So it's really nice.
And it's got the nice captain's chairs in it and everything like that?
It does. And so the back row is more of a bench, but kind of with conformed, like for your back sort of form. But I had that whole bench, which was 4. So I had my pillows up against the wall and I had my feet extended. I felt like I was pretty darn cozy, to be honest.
Riding in the back of the station wagon is what you were doing.
That's exactly how I felt. But it was fun and the time went really fast and it was just really enjoyable, honestly. And then it worked out great because the other couples, one was also driving, but they were on like a 3-week road trip and this was just one of their stops. And then a couple of the others flew in. So when we got there, we had this 12-passenger van that we could all 12 fit in to run around and sightsee. So,
nice.
Yeah, it worked out perfect. Yeah, that was great. My son was like, "You're driving?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not driving. I'm riding." But yeah, it was good.
So Scott did all the driving, is what you're saying.
He did. Scott, do you know that he actually did all the driving? And on the way back, we came directly back. Like we left there at 8:45 in the morning, which would have been 7:45 in the morning here. And we got home at 3:00 in the morning.
Ooh.
And he drove the whole way.
A trooper.
He had a good co-pilot. Kelly was keeping him company. So, it was good. And it was good to get away and just not be on a work trip. Usually if I leave town, I'm on a work trip. So even though I have fun, there's always work things going on. And this was absolutely just a fun trip. We were just in celebrating Sherry and Kelly's 25th wedding anniversary. And then we have a couple of friends that live nearby down there. They live just like 40 minutes away. So they came to visit us as well. So we were sitting around the table and there were 7 couples, so 14 of us. And we added it up. And between the 7 couples, we have been married a total of 256 years, I think, 246 years, something like that. Anyway, on average, 35 years. So it was a lot of marriage to talk about.
Oh, my gosh.
One of the couples came to the table, not that night, but another day, another morning, with T-shirts on that their T-shirts said, "I've been married 40 years. Nothing scares me."
Nothing scares me. You should have done is got a tape recorder out and recorded all of this, all the advice that you could offer to the newlyweds that are coming along.
We should have. We should have done a podcast, right?
Water under the bridge type stuff, right?
Doggone it. Yep, exactly.
You can expect this, and this.
And just, you'll get through it.
My grandmother, she gave me the best piece of advice. And they were married 62 years before Grandpa passed away.
Wow.
And she said, here's the secret to it. She said, it's okay if you hate each other once in a while. Just make sure you don't hate each other at the same time.
Exactly. There you go. That's pretty darn good advice. Yeah, or even you can be mad at each other, just not at the same time. That's a good idea. Well, anyway, I didn't buy any real estate while I was in Savannah. I did sell some, however, but it was back in Minnesota. That's remotely. The glory of this job. Yes. I had one of my clients call me and say, "Robin, I was just at an open house. I absolutely love it. I want to put in an offer." I called the listing agent. She said, "No offers yet, but there are some coming." Called back the buyer. I drafted the contract, sent it for signatures, sent it to the listing agent, and boom, bang, they bought a house. So he said, "Well, now we got to get our townhome listed." So then I sent my son over, met with them. I mean, I've seen it because I sold it to him, clearly. And then got the photographer in there, and before I got back home, the house was up and running on the market. So there you go. Glory of this job. And an amazing team.
That's what you call remote working, right?
Yeah, we didn't miss a beat.
Wow. Well, guess what? We're already time for a break.
Well, for Pete's sakes, we better start talking about real estate when we get back.
Well, we'll do that. We'll talk about real estate when we return with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. To Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. We're with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results this morning, and we promised we'll talk about real estate. And I guess what everybody always asks, Robin, I imagine, is what are the interest rates like right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, not too bad. So the highest we saw them, during this big incline, rate increase. The highest we saw them was right around 7% peak at the end of 2022. And now they're back down to 6.2. And just to give somebody a good idea of what that means to the buyer is that if you're purchasing a $300,000 house, that difference between 7% and 6.2 is about $140 a month. So
All right.
It makes a difference. Yeah, it makes a difference. And I think that Lawrence Young thinks that we haven't seen the end of it. He does think that rates are going to continue to go down, and he thinks that they will be under 6%, certainly before the end of the year. So,
well, I had read a piece, I think it was just yesterday, in fact, that it was about the pressure that's growing on the Federal Reserve to start actually cut rates, not just stop raising them, but to actually reverse and start to put some more money into the economy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. People have to keep buying houses. And, so people are saying, well, gosh, with the rates and the prices haven't dropped. No, and the prices aren't going to drop. The prices are continuously going up. And they're not going up at the same crazy pace that they went up for a few years there. But they are going up. And that's a good thing because this is, for most Americans, their biggest asset is their home. So we do want the values to continue to increase. And because that we do expect them to continue my gosh, I'm struggling with words this morning. Because we do expect them to continuously increase, why put off buying until later? You might as well get in there and start building that equity because you've all heard me say it. Marry the house and date the rate. So when the rates go down a little bit, refinance and then lock in. Don't think that just because you lock in now on a 30-year mortgage that that's actually the rate you're going to pay the entire time you have that mortgage. You're going to refinance when the rates get better, and they will. So might as well buy that house and start building that equity so that, you start to build that wealth.
It goes along perfectly with the message of, saving for the future. Right. If, I don't care what you save something, start saving, start doing it. And the same thing with home ownership, start.
Yeah, don't put it off, because all you'll have is regret.
And you pointed out historically, the prices will not drop.
They're not going to drop.
Yeah.
And we still have such a shortage of inventory. Now, you'll read, prices are dropping. You'll see that in the news. Values are going backward. House prices are dropping. Well, in some markets they have. Some markets they have gone down.
That's because they were overpriced.
Exactly. Because those are the same markets where they went up just crazy. Like I'm talking went up 30% in some markets. So yeah, those markets have dropped down a little bit. Thank goodness.
Yeah, return to sanity.
Well, trying to start returning to sanity. They're still pretty darn high, but I will say, speaking to the Midwest, our prices have gone up on average 5% year over year. So it's a good increase.
It is a good increase. Mm-hmm. And the markets that you talked about in the past that have seen the price drops, places like Austin, Texas, San Diego,
Manhattan.
New York. Yeah, Manhattan, New York. Demographically, people have been moving out of I can't say Austin, Texas, but I know New York, particularly, and the larger cities in California, they're losing residents at rates they haven't experienced before for a lot of reasons.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
They're in a strange place to be. Probably they have more opportunities to buy homes than other places just because of that, whereas we still have the shortage of houses.
Yes, and there definitely, shortage is more the common thing for sure. Yep. Because even New York, where you say people are moving out, I have one client right now that's moving there, from Rochester, going back to be closer to family, and they have been having a heck of a time finding something to buy. And they're going there, and they're like, well, I don't know why they're talking about prices dropping and inventory. Yeah, because they've gotten into multiple offers. They've gotten into escrow and been bumped. I mean, it's not been easy.
Why, other than family, I suppose, why would you want to go out there?
Yeah. This is coming from us two ho-dunk small town people. It's like, yeah, it's a great place to visit. Just like Savannah, it's not even a huge city or anything, but it's anytime I'm away from home, I always think it's a nice place. It's a good place to visit, but I'm happy at home. I really love it at home.
Yep. We better be quiet. Keep the secret a little longer.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what somebody said about Tybee Island. I think Dean Senjum put it on my Facebook page. Don't tell anybody about that place. Let's keep it a secret.
I saw
a quaint little place.
I saw on social media it was a young gal, probably in her 20s, who had moved from Los Angeles to a suburb of Des Moines, Iowa. And she was one of these social media influencer types that's always making videos and things like that.
Sure.
And was getting all this response from people. Why would you move from LA to, Iowa? And she started relaying, she goes, I don't even know if I should be telling anybody this, but you go to Trader Joe's, there's no lines. And she started relaying, different restaurants. You could just go right in and sit down. You don't have to wait an hour to eat. And
exactly.
It was fairly hilarious.
That's pretty true. It's the things that we just take for granted, right?
Yeah. It's a darn good place to live.
I'll second that. So if you want to live here, right, I can help you.
Okay.
So you're coming from LA or you already live here and need a bigger, smaller house.
And you have the resources to connect people. That's what I like the most.
I definitely do.
All right. We're going to take another break. We'll be back in a moment with more of our chat with Robin Gwaltney. Gwaltney Group-RE Max results. It's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Well, Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We're with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results on this beautiful Saturday. Robin, you came back to town. Do you have any new listings since the last time we chatted?
We have some listings. We won't be having any open houses this weekend because just kind of as a golden rule, the Gwaltney Group never does open houses on holiday weekends. It just doesn't tend to be the most, the best time to do them.
Sure, I understand that.
People either are out of town or they have relatives in town, and if the house is occupied, it's a huge inconvenience for the seller and all those things. So no open houses, but that doesn't mean that we don't have agents available to get you into a house if it is indeed available to be seen. Okay? So I was talking earlier about the fact that I listed a townhome while I was away. So that one has been on the market just a day. And it is 1549 Alexander Road, Northeast, and it is $540,000. It was built in 2022. my folks bought it when it was, brand new build. They just realized that they weren't as ready for a townhome as they thought they were. They still need their yard and their flower gardens and space for the grandkids to have a swing set and those kind of things. So they love it. It's a beautiful home, and it is 1,879 square feet on the main floor, another 1,479 below. So it's 3,358 square feet. So it's a large townhome. Yeah. So 4 beds, 3 baths, 2-car garage, and 540,000. That one is, just up the road from where Haley's converted Shopco into their big, beautiful showroom. Yep. And you're heading up the hill, and then it's just off to the right there.
Okay. So, yep. I know where you're at.
Nice location. So I've got that one available. And then I think I talked briefly about this last week that I was going to be getting Wild Wings listed, but it is listed. And that place is amazing. Okay. It is 2101 South Highway 61. So it's just on the edge of town, closer to Wabasha, right? And it has 22,312 square feet. It's a huge, huge building. And it's 1,500,000. So it's just 2 miles south of downtown Lake City.
It doesn't look that big from the front when you go past it.
But it is big. And the acreage there is 4.7 acres. And I have to tell you, when you're in that building and you're looking out the backside, you have a beautiful view of Lake Pepin. And I don't think a lot of people know that either. And then there's that second parcel. That's all those pine trees to the south of the building. And that is an additional purchase that the person who buys the building will have the first right of refusal. So if they want it, they get it. If not, then we'll be listing that for sale. But
can you imagine if you turn that into a manufacturing facility or something like that, and your workers would have the best break room in the world?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's gorgeous. It is really gorgeous there. So anyway, lots of ideas for that place. So if you like to think outside the box and you think you might have a use for that space, it will be worth walking through because you're going to be very pleasantly surprised. And that's just one of those things that I would just walk with even another agent just to kind of explain the different things in the building. So it's not like a lockbox and a showing time kind of thing. It's a call me and set it up and we'll get you in there. So
indoor go-karts.
You know what? Could do it. Could be quite the little family entertainment center there.
Yeah.
You're on to something.
That's something that's sorely lacking in this area.
Oh,
you have to go to the Twin Cities to do that sort of thing.
Well, after being in Savannah last week, I thought, you know what, I should open up a pedal pub in downtown Wabasha. Those people sure have fun on those. But I know they've seen them. I've seen them in Rochester. I don't know how well it worked, but there's so much traffic. Yeah. We don't have that problem in Wabasha.
And the hills. In Wabasha, you're across the highway from the hills. You're okay. It's fairly flat.
Yeah. Oh, it's very flat. Yes, absolutely. I think it would be a load of fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. And of course, I have beautiful lots out in the Sally Ridge subdivision. I don't want people to forget about that. There are a range of prices. You can just look at the website. It's sallyhill.com, and it's SALLEYHILL.com. And there's aerial views of the lots. It tells you which ones are sold, which ones are available, and all the prices are clearly marked. So if you are one of those people thinking about getting a lot so that you can build in the future, it's one of those nice developments that doesn't have a time restriction as to when you have to start building.
Oh, nice.
So just keep that in mind.
A future investment, yeah.
Yeah, and I was on 3 listing appointments this week, so I will have some new ones to talk about in the next couple of weeks, but that's all I have to talk about now, except for I want to talk about our Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, tomorrow's Easter. I know you have this every year.
Yeah, well, normally we would have had this last Saturday, but with our trip to Savannah, it was going to be way too much. Well, then, as it turned out, we did ourselves a huge favor because the weather was not nice.
No, it wasn't.
And it's beautiful today, so I think I think it's going to be a really busy Easter egg hunt, and I hope so because we put a lot of work into it, and we have 3,500 eggs stuffed with little prizes and candy. And of those 3,500, 800 of them have a coupon for a special prize. And we have bought out every dollar store in the region. And we've got our inside of our office set up like a little general store. And they can come in with these prize tickets and claim a prize. And we've got the Easter bunny there, and we've got photo ops, and we've got these cute little cutouts that they can stick their heads in for other photo ops. And we've got lots of surprises. But anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it starts at noon. So it'll be, people will start lining up and getting there by about 11:30. And we like to send the little kids out first. They don't get stampeded.
So
and
that's
let them
today,
pick up
right?
some eggs. It's today.
Yeah, okay.
It's what I'm doing right after this. It's at noon today. So today's the Easter egg hunt, and tomorrow's Easter. Like I said, we normally would have done it the week prior to Easter, but it just didn't work out that way this week.
So all I have to do is show up, bring the kids, just show up.
That's right. Show up. And do bring a ice cream pail or a bag or something for them to put their eggs in, because each kid gets, 12, 15, 18. They get quite a few eggs.
Yeah,
so they need something to put them in. Yeah. Some of them do really well. So
is it a situation where several months later, people are still finding the eggs?
No, we hide it. It's in Heritage Park right under the bridge. So they're more scattered eggs than they are hidden eggs. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So no, it's pretty easy, but it's fun, and it brings the community together, and yeah, it's a good time, and it's a great opportunity to just have your kids' photos taken with the Easter Bunny.
And it's a short drive from Rochester too. So
yes, it is. So come on over.
All right. So you had those listings you mentioned. You said you'll probably have some more for us next week.
I will.
If you want Robin maybe to sell your home, or Robin find you a home.
I would love to.
How do they get a hold of you, Robin?
My cell phone is always the best bet, and that is 507-259-4926. If you'd like to learn more about me or about the Gwaltney Group in general, see the other team members, read their bios, you can look at our website, which is gwaltneygroup.com, and get your questions answered. But really, feel free to call me on my cell phone anytime.
All right. Happy Easter, Robin. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Happy Easter to everybody.
That's Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9